Mike's Daily Podcast.
Thunder. 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 Feel the thunder. Hey, it's Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. I know you needed a little Imagine Dragons in your life. Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere, the engineer, on the way on this show here from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. The last place on earth, and the rain went away.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Had a little of it last night, and then it said bye-bye. Well, today, it's
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I don't know what it is. It's, what do you know? Mike Matthews had a great time last night. You know, he was cooking some delicious Asian dish. It involved a lot of cool shish kebabs. And there was, chicken.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
There was chicken involved. And there was healthy things, green beans, onions, and such.
Mike's
Wait a minute.
Daily
What is this show about?
Podcast.
Chickens?
Yeah.
Chickens make great house pets. Oh, that was so funny. There's these chickens that are running around loose. I guess these people near, Crow Canyon Road in Podcastro Valley have their chickens just running around. Basil, we walk by Basil now, he's seen them a couple times, so now he looks out for them and will just totally stare them down, and the chickens want to come up to him, and then he'll jump at them and chase them. It's awesome. Hey, he hasn't caught him though, for you chicken lovers. Oh, that didn't sound right. Look who just walked in.
Hello, I'm Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, the gift shop supervisor. People are asking me if the gift shop is now a cannabis shop.
Oh, cannabis is legal here in California. Is it being sold in your gift shop?
I don't know what cannabis is, Mike Matthews.
Oh, come on. You know what it is.
Okay, but never mind.
Uh-huh. Okay, so that's sort of an iffy question. We don't know if cannabis is or is not being sold in the gift shop of Cafe Anyway, which is fine. We'll have to... It's a mystery. That's what that music was for.
Anyway.
Cafe Anyway.
Just keep that Jeff Sessions away from me, because he's a creep.
He is. He kind of talks like I have...
And here's today's podcast picture.
To be careful with everything that I say. He talks slow, and he's from Alabama. I could incriminate myself, so I don't want to do that. I must recuse myself. Look who else is here.
Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman.
And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, we had a wonderful Wednesday, too. Thanks for asking. Ooh. We played a little golf. Good. I can't stand golf. Golf is great. You didn't need to do that to my face. Ouch. Really, that's enough, John Deere. I'm trying to hit my ball into the cup. There, I did it just fine. Okay. Mm-hmm. John Deere's evil. But you knew that already.
Mike, he's not evil. He's a nice guy who's sometimes evil. But he's a nice guy, Mike.
All right, crazy sound effects galore here on today's show. Galore. Hey, so I was enjoying an awesome Divorced with a Boxer night last night, and it was great. And I had, I'd have like a little sample for Basil. I'd let him eat like a tiny little bit of something. Let's say I had a bowl. He could lick a bowl. And then it goes in the dishwasher. Don't freak out. Oh my gosh. People freak out with the dogs. All right. It goes in the dishwasher, my friend, and then is scrubbed thoroughly.
I know what's good and bad.
Oh, wait. That's not what I wanted. Oh, shoot. I wanted this one.
Which is a very good thing. Which is a very, very good thing.
Hey, Trump did something. Are you on the Trump train? So Trump is going to seek $25 billion for the border wall, and he is open to Dreamer citizenship. Yesterday, he previewed his outline for an immigration bill that will he's going to promote next week, saying he wants $25 billion. That's billion with a B. No, Mike, that's billion with an M. What the? What?
Why make trillions when we could make billions?
Exactly, Dr. Evil, who I don't own the rights to, who just suddenly made an appearance on my show. Right. Mike Matthews. Saying he wants... So, I have a friend. I guess he's a friend. I've known him a long time. Every time I see him, and I see him at my other job, he asks the same questions. Well, he doesn't ever... He's always talking about, like, what he's doing. He's got this going on, that going on, this going on. He met this person. He talked to this celebrity on the phone, that celebrity on the phone for his podcast. And woohoo, it's awesome. He's great. But he asks me the same frickin' questions all the time. And if he hears this podcast, he's going to put on Twitter, "Oh, I'm never going to talk to you again." But his little passive-aggressive, So here he goes. So he'll always ask me this question. Hey, don't you... Wait, what's the question he asked? Shoot! I just had it in my head. Oh, he first asked me if hey, have you gone on a date with that girl yet? There's this girl we both know, and she's a nice girl, but I'm not interested in going out with her or taking her out or going on a date or any of that. I just not. And then he will say, he goes, don't you... I forgot what it is. But it seems to be the same question. It popped in my head the other day that, yeah, he asked that question every time I see him. But so Trump, I don't know why what that had to do with Trump. It had something to do with him in some weird subconscious sort of way. Oh, yeah, he wants $25 billion to build a border wall. It is open to granting citizenship to dreamer immigrants brought to the United States as children. He said earlier on Wednesday that it would unveil a framework for immigration legislation that it believes can pass muster with both Republicans and Democrats in the U.S. Congress, hoping to resolve the long standoff over the fate of dreamers that contributed to the brief government shutdown that happened. I guess it wrapped up earlier this week. Republican Trump has said protections for the young immigrants will end in March unless Congress passes a new law, but told reporters that he might extend the deadline if lawmakers cannot reach an agreement by March 5th, and that he thinks an immigration deal is possible. He's wanted to offer the Dreamers protection. He's wanted to offer the Dreamers that are protected from deportation by the Obama-era Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA program, an incentive of citizenship, perhaps in 10 to 12 years. He added that addressing the status of their parents who entered the United States illegally was tricky. His impromptu comments signaled a major breakthrough, said Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, one of the lead lawmakers in the immigration negotiations. In fact, he went to Trump with Dick Durbin, the Democrat, last week, and then they were ambushed by a bunch of Republicans in the room. And that's when that was, not last week, but the week before, when the blank hole comment was made, and it all went to pot. So, let's see. President Trump's support for a pathway to citizenship will help us get strong border security measures as we work to modernize a broken immigration system, he said in a statement, Lindsey Graham. With this strong statement by President Trump, I have never felt better about our chances of finding a solution on immigration. And they met on Wednesday, yesterday. He was part of a bipartisan group of 36 senators. They met on Capitol to discuss moving forward on immigration legislation. Senator Claire McCaskill, the Democrat, after the meeting, expressed a cautious optimism to reporters about Trump's framework, saying that could go either way when asked if it will be helpful to lawmakers. This, according to Reuters. Did you ever listen to the band called The Fall? The Fall is... what the... Oh my gosh. Stupid trailer for the stupid Gillian Anderson frickin' Netflix The Fall popped up. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Hey, look what happens to be.
You've got to be kidding me.
Let's see. There we go. An academic needed his chin, set in the dust of some cheap magazines. This academic rust could not burn them up. That's how he sang. He used to sing like that. And they put out so many albums. And they just have, there used to be a show in Los Angeles on KCRW that would play, I think from midnight to 3 in the morning. It was called Dragnet. And the host of the show, I can't think of his name. He doesn't do it anymore. I'm so sad. I actually recorded on cassette a couple of his shows and listened back to them when my cassette player still worked up until recently. And he would play The Fall constantly, and that's how I found out about The Fall. Marky Smith did not seem to be doing very well, though. You see the final pictures of him at 60 did not look well, but he died yesterday at the age of 60. It is with deep regret that we announce the passing of Mark E. Smith, said the band's manager, Pamela Vander. He passed this morning at home. A more detailed statement will follow in the next few days. In the meantime, Pam and Mark's family request privacy at this sad time. And wow, yeah, that was the kind of these songs are just so much fun, and he just has so much to say in his songs, even though I can't understand what he's saying half the time. But yeah, that's The Fall. The Fall. Mark E. Smith has fallen. Wow, I'm amazed he made it to 60. Actually, gosh, they had a hard life, those rockers, those punk rockers. Well, I was never all that attracted to Candice Bergen, but she had her Murphy Brown days with her turtlenecks and whatnot, and people were just, oh, I love her, Candice Bergen. Looking for a strong voice in these politically charged times, Murphy Brown is back. Candice Bergen will return as her iconic namesake character who famously jousted with real-life Vice President Dan Quayle, the Potato Dude, in a revival of the popular comedy with CBS on Wednesday, ordering 13 episodes. Yeah, 13. That's going to be for the end of this year, for the new fall season that gets launched. Creator, writer, and executive producer Diane English, who gave the series its distinctive voice, will return as writer and executive producer, with Bergen saying she's going to be executive producer too. So Brown ran from 88 to 98, yes, 10 years. Was set at FYI, a fictional TV news magazine. And they often commented about current day political events at the time. And it was sort of a updated Mary Tyler Moore, although Candice Bergen was, I think Mary Tyler Moore was not in front of the camera, was she? Maybe she was at one point. But Candice Bergen was an on-air anchor, reporter person, had been in the field, sharp-tongued 40-year-old journalist who had just returned from the Betty Ford Clinic after giving up drinking and smoking. That's when the show launched. That was the storyline. Oh, it had that guy is gone. The guy that was always renovating her house, he passed away. But didn't he? I think he did. As it hits the 30th anniversary of its initial launch, Brown returns to a much-changed media landscape, playing in a world of cable news, social media, fake news, and a different political and cultural climate. So it should be right in step with what's going on and with this guy saying.
You are fake news.
Fake news. Fake news.
Hey, that whole sexual harassment thing hit an interesting moment yesterday when that dang Larry Nassar finally got his did we have it?
Larry sought out and took that we would do. Voted overwhelmingly to call for the Michigan State University president to resign.
As his victims wept in a Michigan courtroom yesterday, disgraced longtime USA gymnast team Dr. Larry Nassar was sentenced to up to 175 years in prison for abusing young female gymnasts who were entrusted to his care. There 160 people, girls, gave their accounts of what he did. I've signed your death warrant, said the circuit court judge, Rosemary Aquilina. Spectators and victims cried and applauded and embraced as Nasser, who is 54, wearing a dark blue jailhouse jumper, was led out of the courtroom. Rachel Denhollander, who was the first woman to publicly accuse him, shared a hug with the lead prosecutor, Angela Poviliatis. Now, Rachel Denhollander is the hero in all this, because she was the first to speak out about Nasser and was criticized, was put down. Rachel Denhollander is a hero that we should all just honor, because if it wasn't for her, this guy would still be doing... Because, it takes that one person to say something, and then everybody else is able to feel comfortable enough to come out. Even though the current, the Daily New York Times podcast that I listened to, talked to one of the girls that got up and spoke, and women, I should say women, they're grown up now, and spoke out against Nasser and talked about how hard it was. She had a prepared statement, but when she finally got up there to speak, and she's in front of all of her friends that she's competed with, friends, female gymnasts that she's competed with, and she's having to say all this and just gruesome details about this creep Nasser. Oh, it was so hard. So he served as the program's physician for the Olympic Games, apologized to his victims, and he's in jail now forever. So that was the big news yesterday. That got all over the news. And then this was Mueller said that he's going to quicken the pace as one key phase has neared the end. Robert Mueller moving at a faster pace than previously known, and appears to be wrapping up at least one key part of his investigation, whether Donald Trump obstructed justice, according to current and former U.S. officials.
You do it under oath, Mr. President?
You mean like Hillary did it under? Who said that?
I said that. Oh. Did you do it under oath?
You said it. Did Hillary do it under oath?
I have no idea, but I'm not asking.
I think you have an idea. Do you really not have an idea?
I really don't remember.
I'll give you an idea. She didn't do it under oath. I would do it under oath.
Donald Trump said he would do an under oath talking with Robert Mueller in a news conference. I think this was yesterday. Mueller has quietly moved closer to those around Trump by interviewing Director of National Intelligence Dan Coats, National Security Agency Director Michael Rogers, Attorney General Jeff Sessions, and former FBI Director James Comey, who said,
"It makes me mildly nauseous."
In recent weeks, his team also interviewed CIA Director Mike Pompeo. Those high-level officials will all have some degree of knowledge about events surrounding Trump's decision to fire Comey and Michael Flynn, his first national security advisor. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Heavy News Day. Hey, I wish I could still remember what the question was that he always asked me. He always asked me if I applied for other jobs. Oh, that's what it is. He's always asking me, hey, because I work at this station on the weekend, and he goes, hey, have you talked to our boss about being on the air? He always asks me that, even though he's on the air, and I don't think he enjoys being on the air. And yeah, so he asked me that. Do you have friends like that ask you the same questions over and over again? It's like, come on, move on. You asked me that. And you know the answer, how I've answered that the past 10 times. No, I haven't asked if I can be on the air. That's just how it is. I don't care. I have a fun time with my part-time job. They allow me to make my podcast while I'm there, and I enjoy it. And I do some production. I produce some commercials in which I am heard on the air. I have enough exposure. And then you are exposed to me on this show. That didn't come out right. I'm having some issues today with many things. And one of them being... Oh, where'd my phrasing go? Oh, here he is.
Phrasing?
Thank you, Archer. Real quick, I have a friend that I sometimes see when I'm walking Basil the Boxer. Did we go outside a cafe anyway yet? I think we did. Yeah. We're outside. Hey, so when I'm walking my dog Basil the Boxer, I sometimes run into this guy, and I haven't seen him. He's usually in his backyard doing some cool projects. He's 77, and I haven't seen him the past couple of weeks, and I've been a little worried. And then yesterday, I happened to see him. He's got this little chihuahua who comes running out when Basil walks by, this cute little Lola. I once posted a picture of Lola in the podcast picture. Oh, the podcast picture today, I forgot to mention this, is this cool area near the Martin Luther King Jr. That's apropos, since we had that, his Martin Luther King Jr. Day a week ago. But yeah, it's this area there. There's this canal. It's in Oakland, and it's this waterway. And I don't know, it's an interesting picture. I thought I'd post it there. Little Oakland travel log photo for you today. And this friend of mine, he came out. He's like, hey, Mike, I haven't been doing well. I'm like, what's up? He's like, my prostate. I'm like, oh no. He's 77. He's having prostate issues. And he's got the catheter and everything. But his spirits were high. He said he was feeling better. This was yesterday. He was feeling better, but he had gone through some rough times. So, think a good thought for my friend. I won't say his name. I'll just call him Friend X. But yeah, that's just, it's tough. It's tough. So, yes, make sure to get those things checked ahead of time before these issues happen. And then I have this guy that I know. He posted something on my Facebook, under one of my posts for my show on Facebook. He posted a laughing face, and then D, the letter D, which is, like a emoji type thing when you're doing the colon and the D, and you make it's like they're smiling or laughing or something. He put it under one of my posts, which the post had a picture of me. This was the podcast picture from 2 days ago. And I don't know what he was saying. If he had, listened to the podcast and he was laughing, this would have been 2 days ago. What was that podcast called? Cave. Yeah. And I don't know. He's got me questioning because he one time spell checked one of my posts. I had mistyped something, and he wrote spell check. Just that was his comment. So he doesn't really write much. He just puts like an emoji or a spell check, one word. He's cryptic that way. So I don't know if he's listening to the show now. Well, hello, welcome to the show. Thanks for listening. Or what? So I'm confused and baffled by that. I'll just take it as a positive then. And that's what we have. That's the show. Okay, next show, it's going to be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Have a wonderful day. May it be full of happiness galore. Imagine Dragons galore. Put on a Fall record. The Fall. Look up The Fall, and hopefully, and bypass all that Netflix crap. Go to the songs by the group The Fall and listen to the great Mark E. Smith, who has gone off to the angels as Greg Proops says, whirling and swirling up in the heavens, in the rock and roll heavens. And long may he be remembered for his fantastic musical style. That was episode 1544.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!